We've been working with rates and ratios and proportions, and then on Thursday we actually started solving those things. We're going to do some more today. So we're solving problems by setting up a proportion. So there's a couple steps we have to follow. First step, we want to set up a proportion with using one variable for the unknown quantity.
Can you write that?
Yes, and we want to make sure that the units are in the same position on each side, which we kind of started last week. Okay? Step 2, we cross multiply. And step 3, we solve for that variable. Okay, so example 1. Colette earns $90 for 10 hours of work. At that rate, how long would she have to work to save $990? So what we are going to do here is we're first going to take that rate that they give us, $90 for every 10 hours, and we're going to make a ratio out of that. So we are going to put on top $90 and on bottom 10 hours. What goes on top and what goes on bottom? No, it does not. Okay, you do not have to write the problem out. Okay. Now this is the rate that she's earning money. And the question is, at that rate, how long would she have to work to earn $990? So we know she wants to earn that much money, but we don't know how long it's going to take her. So we're going to take the $990, and that goes on top because on the other side, dollars is on top, so we have to make sure that they're in the same position. And we don't know how long it's going to take her, so that's our variable. Let's call it X. And then we can use cross multiplication to solve for X here. So I'm going to do 10 times 990, which is 9,900, equal to 9 times X, which is 90 times X, or 90X. And then to solve for X, I divide both sides by 90. And remember our trick, when we have zeros, we can cross off 2 of the zeros, 1 from each one. And 9 goes into 9 once, 9 goes into 9 one more time, and 9 goes into 0 times. So she will have to work 110 hours to earn $990. All right, let's look at a more real-world example. Okay. The country of Mexico utilizes pesos for their money. If 1 peso is about 7 U.S. cents, so 1 peso is 7 cents, what dollar amount is equivalent to 1,000 pesos? Now, everything is in terms of cents here, but we want to know what dollars it is. So they gave us a hint. First, find the cents, and then convert to dollars. So let's do that. So the first thing we have to do is set up a proportion. And our proportion is going to be 1 peso over 7 cents. Equals. Okay. We know that we have 1,000 pesos, so we're going to put that on top or on bottom? On top. Okay. And, oh, we don't know how many cents it is, so let's do M for money.
No, M for Mexico.
Oh. Okay. So what we're going to do here is we are going to cross multiply. So I have 7 times 1,000, which gives me 7,000 equals 1 times M? 1M. Okay, so 1,000 pesos is how much cents? 7,000 cents. But I want my answer in terms of dollars. So I have to take 1,000 cents and divide it by what? How many cents are in a dollar? 100. 7,000 divided by 100? $70. Okay, example 3. The atmosphere normally exerts a pressure of about 15 pounds per square inch on surfaces at sea level. About how much pressure does the atmosphere exert on a surface of 135 square inches in area? Okay, so the first thing we have to do is we want to set up a proportion. Okay? We first need to set up a ratio for what we already know. 15 pounds per square inch. So if it just says per square inch, how many square inches is that?
1.
Just 1. So over 1 inch squared. Okay. We want to know how much pressure does the atmosphere exert on a surface of 135 square inches. So we know we have 135 square inches. Is that going on top or on bottom? Where is square inches in our first ratio? On bottom. So these go on bottom. We have to keep them in the same place. So we're looking for the top. Let's call it X. Okay. It gives it to us up here per square inch. So that means 1 inch squared. One of them. Okay, we're going to cross multiply here. So I have X equals 15 times 135. Okay, 135 times 15. 5 times 5 gives me 25. 5 times 3 is 15, plus 2 is 17. 5 times 1 is 5, plus 1 is 6. Placeholder, 5, 3, 1. 6, 10. So X equals 2,025 what? Pounds. Okay, the distance that a spring stretches when an object hangs from it varies directly with the weight of the object. So however heavy the object is, that's how much the spring stretches. If the spring stretches 4 inches when a 6-pound weight is attached to it, what is the weight of an object that stretches the spring 6 inches? Will you set up the proportion, please? Okay, just filling out the proportion. What did you put on top on the left-hand side, Rolando? 4 inches. Okay, so what did you put on the bottom on the left-hand side, Robert? On the bottom? Oh, it doesn't matter. So what did you put? You put 6 on top? Okay. As long as you keep it the same, you're still going to get the same answer. Okay, and then we have 6 inches. So where would I put that on the right-hand side, Michael? On the top, 6 inches. Okay, I'm going to have the variable be X. All right, what is my next step? Kim, what's my next step? Help her out. Kevin? Cross multiply. So we're going to multiply 6 times 6, which gives me 36, equal to x times 4, 4x. Okay, next step. Christina? Divide by
4.
Very good. And we get x equals 9 what? 9 pounds. Good. So if the spring was stretched 6 inches, that means it had a 9-pound weight attached to it. Okay? Last one, example 5. A telephone rings 2 times every 5 seconds. How many times does it ring in 45 seconds? Okay, so I know I'm going to set up a proportion. So that means 2 fractions with an equal sign in between them. Okay, what was your first ratio? Brianna, what was your first ratio? 2. Okay. 2 rings. 5 what? Seconds. Good. Okay. The telephone ring. The telephone, 2 rings for every 5 seconds. Okay, and then what did you put on the right-hand side? Jiju. Very good. You put X on top because we don't know how many rings. And 45 seconds on bottom. Good. Okay, what is my next step? Hannah, what's my next step?
Your next step is to multiply the bottom number on the left by x and then the top number on the left by
What do we call that, guys? Cross multiply. Good. So that's be 5x equals 2 times 45? 90. Okay, and then what is my last step? Caleb. Divide by 5. So I get x equals
18.
5 goes into 9 once, and there's a remainder of 4, and 5 goes into 80 8 times. 18 what? 18 rings. It rings 18 times. Yeah, that's okay. Okay?